All right. LDWMAC. You know the routine. Skip the background noise, forgive it, and let's just get right into it. I don't know what it is about this generation, man. I don't know. But having some patience and just sitting and just, waiting, this generation can't do it. That's just how that is. That's just what it is. People been all over my behind saying, Coach, Antonina got stopped again. Coach, what do you think? Coach, do you think Antonina, you think she's done? Coach, you think she's going to get cut? Coach, we told you Antonina wasn't like Valentina. Coach. Let the coach tell you guys something. And the coach is just going to say it like this. Shut the hell up. Is what I think when I'm talking to you dudes. Okay, so let's go ahead and answer some questions. Let's just answer the questions. Do I think Antonina is done in MMA? Do I think her time is up? The answer to that is no. Okay? Here's why. This is why I say no. I saw improvements in Antonina Shevchenko. I saw improvements. Now, it might not be the improvements that you guys would think, but Antonina actually stuffed some takedowns. And, before Antonina, she was actually a little bit more easier to take down. She was easier to take down. And Casey O'Neill, she did have a tough time trying to get the fight to the ground. However, Casey O'Neill eventually did get the fight to the ground. She did. But Antonina, I thought, did a pretty decent job of takedown defense. But Antonina didn't defend the takedowns well where it counted the most. Okay? She didn't. I think Antonina is working on her takedown defense. I think that she's working on her ground game, and she's gotten better. However, it just wasn't good enough to deal with Casey O'Neill. You see, guys, Father Time just waits for nobody. And Father Time is undefeated. And yes, has Antonina Shevchenko lost a step? Yeah, I think she has. And I think I first noticed it when she fought Claire Baxter. And this was in a Muay Thai matchup. One of her last Muay Thai matchups, she fought against Claire Baxter, who was huge. And Claire Baxter had to be in that fight over 160 pounds. Where Antonina, she fought at 135 pounds. She fought as a bantamweight. And, Claire Baxter really did a good job of putting a body on Antonina. And she made Antonina work, man. Antonina literally had to work. And, when I see Antonina fight Muay Thai, you don't even see Antonina lose a round. But actually, I had Claire Baxter winning 2 of those rounds. And I can tell then that, even though Claire Baxter was a little bit bigger, I felt like Antonina still had lost a step because Antonina in her prime would have just completely schooled Claire Baxter. No matter the size, she would have schooled her. And it kind of had me wonder, is Antonina losing a step? Okay, I think she has lost a step. But I say that, yes, she's lost a step, but Antonina now is fighting in a different way. She's fighting in a much, much different way. She's trying to be a little bit more economical with her strikes, where Antonina would not have a problem unloading a clip on you. She's a little bit more tactical, in her striking selection, which to me, I think it is better. I thought in the stand-up fight against Casey O'Neill, I thought she did a good job. And I thought that she was, handling Casey O'Neill on the feet. I thought she was. But Casey O'Neill got smart, and they watched a lot of video. And Casey O'Neill kind of knew that, I can't stay standing long in this fight, because if I do, Antonina is going to completely pick me apart. And that's what Antonina started to do. But Casey O'Neill, wisely, she threw a jab, overhand right, got to the inside, and got into the clinch. And I even thought that Antonina was winning a few of those clinch battles. I thought Antonina won a few of the clinch battles. I felt like Antonina was slapping a tie clinch on in situations where Casey O'Neill was trying to get the takedown. And it worked. But my problem that I had with Antonina during the fight is that she wasn't prepared for all the takedowns. And see, when Antonina began to get comfortable because she felt like Casey O'Neill was going to try to clinch or strike with her, Antonina didn't defend the takedown. And Casey O'Neill was able to actually get those takedowns. Antonina, she stuffed 5 takedowns out of 8. So, that's not bad because when she fought Roxanne Modafferi was able to take her down at will. Okay, Caitlin Chikagian was able to take her down at will. So, I felt like her takedown defense was much, much better in this particular fight. But I wish that Antonina would have actually done some of her own takedowns on Casey O'Neill because she was ready for it. She was ready for it. I mean, Casey O'Neill could have been taken down as well. And I wish Antonina would have made an attempt to do it. Let her ground and pound go. But, Antonina kind of had a defensive posture. And whenever Casey O'Neill started standing, Antonina would try to throw some really, really hard strikes. And she landed a few that stunned Casey O'Neill. But I got to tell y'all, man, I like Casey O'Neill. I like this kid. She can take a punch. She can take a kick. She got a chin. But her style is so just in your face. And Casey O'Neill is gonna gnaw you out for 3 rounds, for 5 rounds. She's gonna be right there. And so she's gonna try to get in you. She's gonna try to get up on you all close and personal. But I like Casey O'Neill's style. I like it. I think Antonina could have done a better job of exploiting that style. See, those fighters that come straight ahead, like that, you can easily use their aggression against them. And see, here's the thing, man. Antonina and Valentina, they're not the same. I know TJ347 called me out. I know he did. He called me out, and he said, hey, Coach, you were the one that said that Antonina and Valentina got the same coach, they got the same training, they know the same thing. And I did say that. And Antonina does. I mean, she knows judo. She's a black belt in judo. She's a black belt in taekwondo. Her and Valentina, they got the same education level. The thing of it is that Valentina is more cerebral. Valentina is much more cerebral. And I think the octagon IQ of Valentina is higher than Antonina. Valentina, she likes to really anticipate what a person will do. And Valentina is always thinking that a takedown is coming. And if she feels that way, Valentina, to me, in my opinion, she's first. She gets off first. When it comes to the takedown, she'll take you down. She's not afraid to go to the ground. Where Antonina, she won't really try to initiate a ground. She won't take you down. She's going to try to stay standing as long as she can. And I think that's a huge mistake because Antonina has good takedowns. Her takedowns are pretty good. Her takedowns are very good. The only takedown that I don't like that Antonina will try to do, she'll try to do that head and arm throw and, or that hip toss. And it's not working. Somewhere along the line, she's misfiring or her technicality in that is off because she's misfiring. She tried it against Casey O'Neill. She tried that against Caitlin Chikagian, and it didn't work. And also, too, on the ground, Valentina will not accept a position. She's not going to accept it. I call Valentina a squirmer. And that means that you're going to squirm and just move around, but you're not going to accept a position. Valentina will force the guard. She'll try for a submission. See, on the bottom, Valentina is very active. Where I noticed that Antonina, she's not very active on the bottom. She's not very active at all. Valentina uses her, if she's on the bottom, Valentina uses that as offense, where Antonina uses the bottom as defense. These are the things that I've noticed, where Antonina will be very defensive on the bottom, Valentina is very offensive. And that dichotomy in Antonina, it has to change, or she's going to get stopped a lot more. She's going to get stopped because all of her opponents now, what they're going to do is they're going to shoot for the takedown. They're going to shoot for it. And Casey O'Neill continued to shoot for the takedown. Casey O'Neill went for 8 takedowns. That ought to tell you that Casey O'Neill, they've been watching a lot of video. They've been watching a lot of video on Antonina, and they already know you put a little pressure on Antonina, you can get her to fall, you can get the takedown, and you're in the driver's seat. See, a lot of these fighters now, when they fight Antonina, that's what they're going to do. That's what they're going to do. Is Antonina going to get cut? Well, no, she still got fights left on her contract, so no, she's not going to get cut. However, we do know that the pattern of the UFC, we know that if you continue to lose, if you keep losing, then, yeah, they will cut you eventually. That's with any business. If you can't perform, they get rid of you. Okay, it's nothing personal. It's just business. The thing of it is, though, I do believe that Antonina, I don't think she's done. But I do believe that they have to change that dichotomy of her game. They got to make her more offensive on the ground. And even on her back, she's got to be a little bit more offensive. She's got to be looking for submissions versus looking for defense to try to get back up. If you really look at how the two fight, it's night and day. These two, they fight night and day. And this is not, putting Valentina up against Antonina. It's not that. But we do have to be honest. Valentina is a more cerebral fighter. It's just like Valentina is a fish in the octagon. Antonina is a fish in Muay Thai. Okay, Valentina is a fish inside of that octagon. And it's crazy. Valentina understands every single position in the octagon where she is. She knows escape routes. I mean, just everything. Valentina knows where to put her opponents at. She knows her opponent's weaknesses. And it don't take Valentina very long to figure out a weak spot on a person. I've noticed that even in short notice fights, Valentina, she adjusts well. To me, Antonina, she don't make adjustments. I don't see Antonina make a lot of adjustments. I see Antonina, she'll go out and she'll do the exact same thing that got her in trouble. Like when Jennifer Maia took Valentina down, do y'all think that Valentina made that same mistake again? Well, the answer is no. She didn't make the same mistake. She didn't make the same mistake at all. Valentina made an adjustment, and Jennifer Maia wasn't able to get that kind of takedown again. I mean, it's very beautiful to watch Valentina. It's beautiful to watch what she does and how she uses her opponent's aggression and, or their non-aggression against them. Like, it's almost like, Valentina is like the Tiger Woods or the Michael Jordan of MMA. And she really is that good. And it's not because I'm a fan, but I've watched so many Valentina videos that you just have to recognize that we're in a time period we may never see a fighter at 125 pounds this good again. We might not, but she's that good. Is Antonina a good fighter? Yeah, she's a good fighter. I mean, she would have never gotten almost to 10 wins if she wasn't a good fighter. But Antonina, she just don't have the octagon IQ that Valentina does. She don't have it. And I've noticed that. And I've noticed too that Antonina, it's almost like now, when you get stopped or when you get really beat in a fight, you become gunshot, and you don't have confidence. And I felt like in points of the fight, Antonina didn't fight with the confidence that I normally see her fight with. But that's understandable. See, people, y'all don't understand. It's understandable. It's understandable because, she's had some rough fights. She's had some rough fights. She's getting through injuries. Yeah, So, of course, you're not going to have the same confidence. And you can kind of tell that the confidence began to wane the longer the fight went on. And you can kind of tell that, Antonina's body language. She was still trying to fight to win, but her body language was telling me otherwise, that Casey O'Neill was just taking her down and doing too much. But now, here's what I do think, though. I don't think the fight should have been stopped because Antonina was moving. She was actively defending herself. It just looked like, Chris Taglioni, he was just really wanting to stop the fight. And I'm sitting here like, I don't understand. And Casey O'Neill kept looking at him like, hey, are you going to stop this or what? Are you going to stop the fight? And the strikes that Casey O'Neill was raining down, they wasn't even damaging Antonina. They wasn't damaging. See, I look at it like this. If a person isn't raining down strikes that's damaging or they're getting hit with like these elbows, these concussive elbows, I don't think the fight should be stopped. I don't think the fight should be stopped. If Casey O'Neill was landing some hard strikes, and I'm talking about some really hard strikes, and Antonina just got her hands up and not doing it, yeah. But Antonina was actually moving around. She was trying to get back to her feet. And then, like 13 seconds left in the fight, and this dude gonna stop the fight. Dude, just let him play out. I mean, give the girl a time to work back into the fight. He was just ready right there to stop the fight. So I don't think the fight should have been stopped. I think Antonina should have been allowed to continue in the fight. Okay, she should have been allowed to continue. She wasn't concussed too bad to where she couldn't continue. She was still moving. She was actively defending herself. She was trying, but he stopped the fight. But either way, though, I had Casey O'Neill winning the fight. She was up 2 rounds anyway, but you just never know what a person will do in the 3rd round. You just never know. They do have some work to do with Antonina. They got some work to do. It's more or less like that ground game. She has a ground game, but being in position to utilize the skill set of the ground game that she has, this is the problem. This is the problem that Antonina is having. She's having this issue. So, I don't know. Pavel has a plan, though. Pavel has a plan. And I firmly believe that Pavel Fedotov, he's going to work this out. People are saying, well, do Antonina need to change coaches? Why would she do that? Why would she do that? The coach is telling her and Valentina got the same coach. It's not the coach, it's Antonina. Antonina got to execute what the coach is saying. That's just what it is. And also my final talking point, I just think Antonina's at the wrong weight class. I've always never believed that she was a true 125 pounder. I just never believed that. I just never believed that Antonina was a true 125 pounder. I've always thought that Antonina was a bantamweight. And it's like when you have to cut the weight down, and Antonina 36. She's 36, man. You can't, these weight cuts to 125, they're going to get more severe. They're going to get more difficult to do. And that's hard on the body. I've always thought that Antonina would do far better as a bantamweight. I've always thought that. But then people are saying, well, if Antonina can't deal with the girls at 125 pounds, she ain't going to be able to deal with the girls at 135. Well, I beg to differ. Weight does matter. And I think she will be able to deal with them. I think she'll have a lot more success at 135 pounds. Because, too, when you weight drain, I'm telling people, you don't understand. You ain't got energy to do a damn thing if your body is weight drained. You do not have energy. Don't let people fool you. Don't let people tell you that you can go hydrate and eat and then you're okay. Nah. A nasty, nasty weight cut, it takes a toll on you, man. And some people don't recover, man. It's hard on your kidneys. It's hard on your liver. It's hard on the heart. A hard weight cut is very, very difficult. And so people need to know that, man. And Antonina, those weight cuts to 125 pounds, they ain't no joke. They ain't no joke. So what does Antonina do from here? What does she do from here? I think she needs to stop relying so heavily on striking and really she know how to strike. Antonina understands stand-up. I don't think she worked those skill sets as much. I think Antonina need to be rolling every time she touches the gym, rolling. And I think people need to constantly take her down. And I'm talking about get on top of her. I think they need to mount Antonina. They need to start just doing whatever they can to keep Antonina on the ground and force her ass to get up. Force Antonina's ass to keep getting up. Work on the skill set until it becomes ingrained in her damn head. Work on it because these fighters, they're not going to stop doing that. They're not going to stop. They're going to keep doing the same thing. They're going to continue to take Antonina to the ground. No matter what she do, they're going to try. They're going to do it. And, the people that beat her, if you go look at Antonina's resume, who she lost to Casey O'Neill, a grappler wrestler. She lost to Roxanne Modafferi, jiu-jitsu specialist, ground game. Okay? Antonina lost to I forgot the other person, but that person was a grappler. Antonina lost that fight. She lost to Caitlin Chikagian. Caitlin Chikagian has okay stand-up, but Caitlin Chikagian is a grappler. Caitlin Chikagian loves to roll. Guys, there's a trend. There's a trend. But Antonina in there with the people who got a striking background, she beats them. She beats them, fairly easy. But these people that's got these jiu-jitsu, wrestling, and they're grapplers, Antonina can't really deal with those people very well. It's safe to say, and I hate to say this, but if they don't, do something about this part of Antonina's MMA game, they're going to have every single wrestler under God's hot sun trying to go in and take Antonina down and just sit on top of her and rain down punches. And they're going to look at the referee like Casey O'Neill did, and they're going to hope for a stoppage.